Welcome to episode 4 of A Steampunk Park. In this episode, we do have a ton of changes such as foliage, Christmas decorations, more coasters, and the start of theming on our B&M Mini Hyper Zeppelin. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. So starting off, I did actually start with some Christmas decorations. I have not gotten this throughout the entire park yet. I do have a ton of work to do on that still. Main Street's pretty much the same other than some added lighting that I made and added to the park. And on the right, we have the most recent addition that I have made, Zeppelin's Q House. So Zeppelin is the name I came up with. Y'all can make a better one probably. A Zeppelin is pretty much like a blimp or airship. There might be a slight difference. I'm not 100% sure. If you have any better name suggestions. This is probably one of my best Q houses I have ever made. I rarely make them anymore because I just struggle to get past the actual stage of getting the idea and actually putting it to fruition, which I need to fix this right here. I'll have to go back and fix that later. But we do have plenty of things. We do have plenty of little scenery bits and scenes to add. Like right here, I do have like pipes and stuff, and then those go right here. And then these actually puff out steam, and they go out this and all the way out that whenever it dispatches. And this wheel right here also spins when that happens. This was going to actually be the fast queue entrance, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I can try. I actually do have a pretty good spot to do it in. Maybe I'll make like a separate one of these, like right here or something. I'm not exactly sure. You should let me know down in the comments. But after we go along this first stretch, we come to this, which is the first scene. Not exactly sure what to put here. If you do have any suggestions, go by scene. Like put scene, let's say 3, and then semicolon, and then the idea for what should be in that. So there's scene 1. Over here would be scene 2. Scene 3 is right here. Scene 4, 5, and 6. These are going to be separate little things. And then up at the top, we have room for a few scenes. Just say scene 7 and give like a couple of ideas. There's stuff there. Then scene 8 can be in the station. I guess I could put like a blimp up here or something, like a mock blimp or something like that. Make this like the place where it lifts off or whatever. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, this is an absolutely wonderful station that I have made. An absolutely wonderful Q house as well. I am going to add windows in and stuff, and I'm going to properly trim them out. I just absolutely love the way this building came out. I also have a ton of catwalks for changing the light colors and stuff, so that is there. I probably need to run one along the bottom right here, so you can actually change these, but I'll probably do that later. And then there's a showcase of the steam coming out. I thought it'd be interesting little bob. I also did finally make the undercarriage for the lift hill, as well as one for the top of the lift hill. And I also just finished up the catwalks in general. I got them almost finished. I got the lighting, the push buttons, I have the end of catwalks, I have the angled ends and stuff. I have pretty much everything done. I just need to add a way to get down from this catwalk right here. I'll need to add a staircase, not a spiraled one, but like a zigzag. I've also added a ton of foliage back here and a ton of maintenance buildings, including the maintenance office. I do need to add lighting back here so that it's realistic and looks alive and not just like vacant buildings. So I need to do that eventually, but for now, that's all vacant pretty much. I also do have this building finished. I actually didn't work on this until last night, which is kind of funny because I said I'd probably finish this building like a month ago and just haven't worked on it straight up. I also have the double shot S&S tower in now. This will be themed probably with the same theme this has, so be on the lookout for that. I still have to theme up the ride photos and stuff in the staff station, staff room, break room, and then it is off to other ends of the park. I do have all the don't die fencing in. I don't remember if I had that in before, but I also added in the transfer track as well. I also added roof access to this right here and ventilation. Moving on to the RMC LSM coaster. Unfortunately, the update did come and it did mess up my glorious looking track that I had, but I don't really care. I'm not going to adjust it really. I haven't worked on this very much since last time. I'm probably going to actually delete the station and probably restart and do something a bit different. I might do that. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I also added all the maintenance, or not maintenance. I also added all the transfer track bits and bobs, so it's got the proximity sensor stuff on it now, so it would actually line up properly and stuff. So that's all in. I also added a LSM house / ride photos unit right here. This isn't where the guest would get it. This is where it would be processed and stuff, and then it'd be sent by cable underground to wherever that is, which would be kind of far away. I'm not exactly sure how those work, to be honest. I might have to look that up or something, or maybe one of you know. If you do, just leave a comment down below. I also did add a ton of terrain change and a ton of trees, which is why this is so laggy at the moment. There's a ton of latency with like all my inputs, which kind of sucks. Anyways, moving on. I also added in this hidden gem from an old blueprint that I had made, and I absolutely love this thing. It's just such a nice little coaster. I love it. I need to figure out a better train for it. So if you have any recommendations for this is just like a general coaster, kind of mine train type thing. So if you have any train suggestions, also leave those down below. I will be sure to read all of the comments. But this thing also had just a ton of catwalks and stuff. I did actually finish this out with these guards and stuff, which is probably not the most realistic thing ever. I could probably do this a bit better and add like a crane right here or like a pulley so that you can lower trains off of here and then put them in this little workshop right here, but I did not do that. I do think it is a nice little coaster, though. I definitely do need to update the control boxes, because this is made before I made version 2 of my operator kit, which I actually did do the new operator panel, but I never actually finished out the rest of the ride, so I've got to do that. I also... Oh, nope, those are the originals. Yeah, I've come a long way. Mine don't look anything like that anymore. But anyways, I do have a ton of flat rides put in now, so we do have a ton of work to do there. Those are going to be pretty quick things. I could probably get one of them done by next episode. I'll probably at some point do a whole episode where I just go full ham on all of them, but I honestly really suck at making flat rides, so I might have one of my slaves, friends, work on them. So I also have this nice little gravity group Woody as well, which I actually just did the station on, I think yesterday. This is a nice little station and stuff. You got access to the maintenance bay and stuff, and then there would be a workshop in here or whatever you would need. Maybe there would be like a proper workshop right here or something, kind of like it is over at that mine train. But I also did custom support this as well. I actually added the footers on this as well, which you already have seen the short of this more than likely. I'll leave a link down in the description to all of the POVs that I have available. They're probably not up to date at all. I might have to update one or two of them at some point. I'll probably do this once I actually finish that ride, so I don't just give the same thing like 5 times in a row. I know people get annoyed with that. But yeah, I do think the supports look really nice. Good realistic. I added silt fencing for the perimeter fencing and stuff, and then this would be another stash lot, and then this is the other one. There's a few of them around the park. That's the maintenance head office right there. And then I have the transfer track as well. So it would pull forward, this would slide over, and then it would go back through. Probably not the most realistic. Probably could just make it a slight bit longer and just do that, but I didn't. So, it'll be fine. I think this area is going to turn out more like a fun spot or something like that. Just probably because of the actual coaster itself. I think it just reminds me of a fun spot, which I actually really want to go at some point. I think those look like really fun parks. But this B&M over here, I'm not actually able to get into the park this was originally made in because of a little issue that we had on the 4th of December. If you had mods installed, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you had like the custom rides or whatever, just absolutely freaking wrecked it. Like, yeah, it kind of sucked, but I was also off that week as well for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully I can get back on my schedule. I really suck at staying on schedule. But this is a nice little B&M coaster. Again, I do have the catwalks and stuff, the oiler, the auto oiler, and then the actual motor and stuff. I've got all that in. The necessary catwalks. I have all that in. This is probably not even close to what it'd be like. I'm not exactly sure, to be 100% honest. I probably need to look up a few POVs and actually look at how these are done, or off-ride footage or whatever. See what I can find to try and make that more realistic. Yeah, there's that. This is actually supposed to be a stand-up coaster, but it's a floorless because I thought it fit better for the park. I don't have a theme necessarily for this yet. I guess this is the stylizing or theme. There was a video Silvarret did a couple of years ago with a Gravity Group Woody that's kind of similar to this, I think. So I'll try and remember to leave a link to that video. I hope I do. So that's actually a really good video. But anyways, that is going to be it for this week's episode. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, drop a follow. I'll see you guys again soon in another video. Till then, peace out.